CarolinaPrepper.com. If you're looking for quality food storage for hiking, fishing, hunting, basic survival needs, or just for everyday use, check out our food storage line at CarolinaPrepper.com. We also carry other fine quality products such as our can concealment holsters for men and women. Keeping your firearm under cover and within reach puts confidence in your hands in any situation. Our products are 100% American made. Check us out today at CarolinaPrepper.com.
And now,
good morning, everyone. How are you? Hey, Robin. Robin, it may be just you and me today because everybody's probably watching sessions. Hey, Marianne, good to see you. How are you? Daniel, good to see you. How is everybody? Harold, Lynn, hello. How is everybody? Looks like zebra, but it's not. Z-Vibes-bra. Thank you for sharing, everyone. Catman, fabulous. Everybody's fabulous. Good morning. Good to see you. Hey, Hugh, good morning. Good to see you. Rhonda, good to see you. A lot going on. Sessions on the Hill. Talk about that in a minute. Lot to talk about. See a lot of new people in here today. Hello, Pat. How are you? Catherine, good to see you. Facebook's not allowing me to bring on Facebook Live today, so there you go. I'm good. Samir, how are you? How is everybody? Pat, good to see you. So as all the new people come in and everybody's coming in, I'm going to be reading 1 John 1, or 1 John 4, I should say. The spirit of truth and the spirit of error. Good morning, Catmandu. Now he who keeps his commandments abides in him, and he in him. And by this we know that he abides in us by the Spirit whom he has given. Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits, whether they are of God. Because many false prophets have gone out into the world. By this you know the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesses that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh is of God. And every spirit that does not confess that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh is not of God. And this is the spirit of the Antichrist, which you have heard was coming and is now already in the world. You are of God, little children, and have overcome them, because he who is in you is greater than he who is in the world. They are of the world. Therefore they speak as of the world, and the world hears them. We are of God. He who knows God hears us. He who is not of God does not hear us. By this we know the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. Hey, Gary, good morning. So how is everybody? Looks like my Facebook people just aren't going to get on today. Amen, amen, amen. All right, Daniel, absolutely. Hey, Shauna, good to see you. Glad that you're here. We're starting up Facebook. It's finally going to let me in. So probably a lot of people are, again, watching Sessions hearing that started about an hour ago. It's kind of going as predicted. What do you think? Everybody feel that it's kind of being pretty predictable? Hey, Wayne, good to see you. Julia, good to see you. How does everybody think that the Sessions hearing is going? Another shooting on the Strip this morning. Suspect at large, Marianne said. A lot of that going on in Las Vegas. Hey, Gayla, good to see you. Not good, Pat said. And Pat, what do you think is good about it and what isn't good? Let's hear some opinions about what Jeff Sessions is doing and how you think he's doing. When you say he's not doing so good, in what regard? Robin says she has no clue about how it's going, not sure about Sessions. And Marianne, in what way? Because from what I was hearing, Jeff Sessions is not good at this type of thing and being grilled on Capitol Hill. He's never been good at it. He flounders a lot. Fox is reporting he doesn't recall meeting with Soros. There's some things that he said he doesn't remember, he doesn't recall from a year ago, and he doesn't sound forceful. He never does. Had a hard time finding you and getting on your scope. Yet, Wayne, I didn't go through Twitter this time. I just went directly from Periscope. Gayla, basically what's happening is Sessions just answering questions. It's all about, again, mostly about Russia, as you might expect. Hey, Fred. And they just keep asking sort of the same questions over and over. We're just rehashing the same stuff. He's talked about the things that he has done that are good, the things that he has been working on. He talked about also, hey, Danny, that he's not going to say everything that he's doing within his department because that's not how it's run. And then, of course, they're asking them, hey, well, what do you think about this? Do you think a president should say these things? And it was some of the tweets that President Trump had said back in, I don't know, months ago. Yeah, he always does seem nervous, Pat, but he's that kind of guy. He's not a get out in front speaking, a great speaker. He just isn't. After it was announced that might replace Moore with him, it was announced there is a pre-investigation, so to speak, into Hillary Rodham Clinton. Anyone forget you sometimes have to plunge a toilet and D.C. is clogged, Fred said. Absolutely. Not a good guy for the job then? Well, I don't know that he necessarily has to be an out front point guy. I hate when they ask questions that require qualifications and yet they want a yes or no answer. They do that on purpose, Shauna. And I think it's good for him that he says, look, I can't answer yes or no. Judge Janine said on Fox that Moore was guilty because she heard the woman so sad. Danielle said, I didn't hear her say that, so I'll take your word for it. There's a lot of things that seem very odd about the Roy Moore whole thing. So we'll talk about this in a minute. Trying to trip him up. Yes, Marianne. They always do try to trip him up. They try to go quickly, try to trip him up. As I said, if anybody's ever been before, in a deposition or anything like that, the whole thing about depositions, really, they're not necessarily straightforward. And this is similar to a deposition. They try to trick you up. They try to trip you up and get you to say things that it's not what you mean, so they can use it against you later. His old world thinking will do little for today's problems, Spencer said. Judge Janine, said that yearbook post by Moore was not good. And then, Shauna, we have this morning the Gateway Pundit saying that Thomas Wichter, as many of you know from Twitter, he is an author, and he basically did an analysis on why he thinks that the whole thing, hey, Barbara, he thinks that whole yearbook thing is forged. Hey, Cully. Danielle said there's nothing strange. They just don't want him because he's against gay marriage. So let's talk about some of the things that Thomas Moore looked at and decided, Thomas Wichter, not Thomas Moore, looked at and decided. We really don't have facts. Well, we have facts from 40 years ago from one side of the aisle. We don't have so much what he's saying, or it's kind of hard to defend yourself and say what you didn't do. So Thomas Wichter says that the number 1977 is different from the one written above. And if you look at the two sevens and you look up above, and it does say that, I mean, it does look like they're entirely different numbers written by somebody. Why would any one girl who was almost raped by a man ask him to sign her yearbook? I don't know. The other thing that he said, the 12/22/77 and Old Hickory House, he feels that it was written by two different people. Yeah, things can be manipulated a lot nowadays. It's true. I don't know who has the original of the yearbook. But he was also saying that the Old Hickory House was never spelled with the, hey, Sherry, O-L-D-E. It was always O-L-D. And in the yearbook, it's O-L-D-E. He said the R and the Y in Roy are not written by the same person. My fear is if it isn't true, good people won't run for office. I know, Pat. Hey, Carol Ann, good to see you. It would be very hard because no matter what you do, you're going to get dinged for something. Oh, I do not care until he says so. We got to stand with our man until our truth appears, Barbara said. The Y and R in Roy is not even close. And he said the name of the restaurant was never O-L-D, but O-L-D-E, but O-L-D. And he said that it was signed D-A. And okay, Danielle, you can either turn off on the other scope. I don't know what other scope you have playing, but anyway, he said that he was a deputy district attorney at the time, and he would not have signed it DA. You know, so this is what Thomas Wichter says. You had to go out. How can we clear himself with something like this? Pat, only I think going in a court of law and bringing in witnesses from both sides can he do it. Because, hey, Nick, because he basically, he has no ability in the public forum really to give his side of it and bring witnesses forward. Hey, Pat. Well, he can, he could go into a court of law and claim that these people are defaming him. Hey, Teresa, and try to do it that way. Alexis, good morning. I saw that picture. It's totally different. I mean, it is different. Now, here's the thing that bothers me about the yearbook. Did you read what was written? Somebody please explain to me what this means. He wrote, supposedly, somebody wrote, to a sweeter, more beautiful girl, I could not say Merry Christmas. What does that mean? It's his word against theirs, and I fear they won't cut it. That won't cut it, yeah. Does anybody understand what was written there? To a sweeter, more beautiful girl, I could not say Merry Christmas. And it said Christmas 1977, but then the date on it was 12/22, which was before Christmas. I don't understand. Danielle, I'm not saying he did write it. I'm saying whoever wrote it. Hey, Bill. Hey, Wendell. Good morning. The girl is sweet and have a Merry Christmas. But that's not what it says. To a sweeter, more beautiful girl, I could not say Merry Christmas. That makes absolutely no sense. I mean, if you're going to say to a sweeter, more beautiful girl, I wasn't able to say Merry Christmas to you, but Merry Christmas now, or whatever, something like that. But it said Love Roy Moore, and the date was 12/22. That's before Christmas. I don't understand that. Why does it seem only Republicans, not Democrats, being exposed? Because, Carol Ann, that's who is doing the exposing, are the Democrats. The whole thing is crazy. I know. I mean, but the whole writing makes no sense. Could have been writing too fast. Could have been. But if this is supposed to have been before Christmas, you would say something, I won't be able to say Merry Christmas to you, so I'll say it now. I mean, it looks weird. Cully said looks like a woman's handwriting to him. The English is correct, but the sentence makes no sense when you read it. To a sweeter, more beautiful girl, I could not say Merry Christmas. That makes no sense. No one has yearbooks in December unless it was last year. When did he attack her? Yearbooks are come out in spring. Last day of school before Christmas break. But it still does not, when you read the sentence, it makes no sense. To a sweeter, more beautiful girl, I could not say Merry Christmas. Maybe to say I won't be able to say Merry Christmas, so Merry Christmas now or something. But as it's written, it makes absolutely no sense. None whatsoever. And it's dated before Christmas. Okay, a guy tells a girl hello, wink, Fred said. Yeah, I don't understand it. So, could not have said Merry Christmas to a sweeter girl. Something like that, Patrick, would make sense. Yeah, I could not have said Merry Christmas to a sweeter, more beautiful girl. It could be if you just turn it around, it will make sense. But if you read it just like it's written, it makes no sense. To a sweeter, more beautiful girl, I could not say, comma, Merry Christmas. That doesn't even make sense. But you could turn it around and it might make sense. I could not say Merry Christmas to a sweeter, more beautiful girl. Now that does make sense. So I'm just saying it's written weirdly. So I don't know. Robin said, I still don't believe he did what they said. There's no concrete evidence. The rhinos make me sick. Why would he write in a high school book when he was 32? I don't know. And again, still nothing wrong with it. And as we talked about yesterday, they may not have liked him being 30-some years old and hanging around young, teenagers, but it wasn't illegal in Alabama. How many here may have said something 40 years ago you would not dream of today? How did he get it? I have no idea, Alexis. Male or female. Does any of this make any sense now they're going after Hannity because of the interview he did? Well, Pat, Keurig saw the light, and Keurig put their ads back on and said they apologized. Trey Gowdy News on YouTube is aggressively taking steps to see Hillary and company to be arrested in light of the Dems going after Roy, Bill said. How about 50 years ago? I don't think very many people, they were kind of suspicious of the fact that he didn't remember this girl at all. I don't know. Would you remember everybody from 40 years ago? I mean, I'm not sure that I would. I can remember a lot of them. Shauna said, I graduated in 73. We got our yearbooks at the end of the year before summer break. The women are all liars, Danielle said. We the people will fight as we are now awake. And Alexa says she doesn't remember. Nope, I can't remember what I ate yesterday, Marianne said. Good morning, Susan, everyone listening and may not see comments. No problem, Teresa. I can't remember yesterday sometimes. I'm a 100% different person than 50-some years ago. Exactly. I do not remember any boyfriends except my first love, Shauna said. I don't remember things I did last night. I know it's very difficult for somebody to be, okay, 40 years ago you said this. And it's like, wow, I did? I don't remember. And a lot of times people can interpret things differently than what you intended them to be. So, I mean, I don't know. And again, for me, hey, Chessie, I would want to see, I want to hear evidence from both sides. I really do. As I said, I wouldn't condemn these actors that are being told things are coming out about them. I wouldn't condemn them without hearing the evidence on both sides. Why didn't the women come out when he was a judge? I have no idea. How the heck they're going to convict him in anything but in the court of public opinion? Now, that's true, Shauna. Hey, they look 40 years older. How do you remember, much less recognize? I know. Why not earlier in his career, Carol Ann said. I know, that's what people are asking. And, somebody made a good point. 40 years later, you don't look the same. Barbara said, mad at my senators, they withdrew their support. Yep, Ted Cruz withdrew support. McConnell and the other rhinos are the reason I'm no longer a Republican, Robin said. And also, Paul Ryan is now saying that he should step down. So there you go. I mean, almost everyone has abandoned him. I mean, McConnell, of course. Prayers for the situation. Yep, I gave that girl the bad acting award with Allred. Well, and see, Cully, that's another thing too. When you have Gloria Allred, automatically now people look at it and say, I don't know if I believe you, just by the mere fact that you have Gloria Allred as the attorney. Good morning, Gisette. Which is bad because if somebody is telling the truth. Graham was a character witness for Menendez. Don't trust his judgment. Wow. Ryan is always telling everyone what to do. He's a good man. God will defend him. Barbara said. Catherine said, thank you, Rob, and Rhino's got to go. They do not want him and because he's a Christian. Danielle said, hey, Harold, good to see you. Allred is an attorney. Yeah, Gloria Allred. Mm-hmm. Yes, very bad acting. So, I don't know what to say. It's really sad how so many conservatives are condemning more without seeing the tactics. That's true, Sea to Shining Sea. Absolutely. And, but when you say something about it, people on the left will say, well, there doesn't have to be a trial. Nobody should have to defend themselves like that. I don't understand that, because when you come out and you want to ruin somebody's life, if it's not true, that other person has the right to defend themselves. I think Gloria's on retainer from the Dems. Gloria's just trying to continue to make a big name for herself, Marianne. I agree they don't want Christians in office, Robin said. Gloria was instrumental in getting Roe versus Wade passed. Someone or something is knocking my phone off, Wayne said. Keep trying, Wayne. If you have to, you can go to YouTube and you can also go to Facebook. Yeah, I don't trust her either. I really don't. I mean, I think she's very much a sensationalist. You could not lock car doors back then. Huh, good point, Cully. I didn't remember that about 1979. Does that mean I'm guilty because I can't remember whether or not you can lock car doors back in 1979? Because, see, that would be the argument that somebody would make. If I couldn't remember about 1979 and I were on trial for something, that would be, well, you're saying you don't remember? What do you mean? Does anybody else remember that? Because I don't remember in 1979 about whether or not the doors locked on the car. Yes, she claimed it had automatic windows. Now, no, I can't. Weren't there just roll down windows at that time? We are having weird outing, judging by how things were in the past when society did have different standards, but calling out open comedians that joke about stuff he did not hide makes no sense. Yeah. Yes, car doors locked. Rhonda said car doors locked. Susan, let's take a poll. Do you think he should go on or step aside? Pat, at this point, I think there's too much suspicious activity coming from the Republicans who didn't want him there in the first place, and not enough evidence to condemn him that he should not step aside at this point. What does anybody else think? God will allow the truth to come out. You cannot lie forever. It did with Keys. What does anybody else think? Should he step down or not? They had power locks in windows in 1979, not just not automatically. Don't step down. Yeah, I was watching Jeff Sessions. Well, Ron, we see where your priorities are. Yeah, I know that, let's say, the New Yorker came out with allegations, some more allegations this morning. They locked, but handle would unlock them, Cully said. Okay. Electric windows and cars in the 1950s. Whoa. If he is innocent, he should stay. Only he knows the truth. And if he is innocent, stay. And it's going to be difficult because there's so many people coming out against him. It's going to be extremely difficult for him to stay. They're going to be putting so much pressure on him. Robin says he should keep going. Now, here's something that came out from the New Yorker, so take it with a grain of salt, one way or the other. There are allegations where people heard more in 5 members of a local community, two police officers, several people who hung out at the mall in the early 80s, and former mall employees who said Moore was banned from the mall and the YMCA because he repeatedly badgered teen girls. Now, again, this is, hearsay. They don't give the names of anybody. They don't have witnesses. They don't have anybody. I mean, I don't know how you ban somebody from the mall and the YMCA. What does it mean by badgering young girls? Was there anything illegal, or did he just try to pick up on young teenagers? I don't know. And again, it's the New Yorker, so I have no idea about the veracity of it. Hey, Deborah, good to see you. Yeah, no people, just 2 police officers, and we're not giving any names. The one thing that I find kind of more suspicious is how many people with last name of Moore in Alabama. Good point, Rhonda. Moore needs to come on TV. I think, well, he went on Hannity. What mall? It was the Gadsden Mall, Barbara. And that was in his neighborhood, supposedly. So, but the 14-year-old girl, interesting, he said he's been through so many elections, and this just comes out now. Yep. New Yorker is a left-wing rag, Cully said. He lives in a small town. He did seem nervous. Well, I don't, Pat, wouldn't you be nervous if some people were accusing you? I mean, whether it's true or not, I mean, wouldn't you be a little bit nervous about it? And also, if you're like Jeff Sessions and you're not a good speaker, maybe that's why he was a little nervous. I don't know. But again, I would feel more, I would believe it more, okay, if the 14-year-old girl, where is she? The 14-year-old girl has the bigger case of anyone because she was truly a minor, and it would have been totally illegal for him to have done anything to her. So where is she? Why isn't she speaking out? And, the people on the left, I'll play devil's advocate, people on the left will say she doesn't need to speak out. She already said her stuff. She doesn't need to go into any other details. But I think she does. Robin said I would be shaken if people started accusing me of things I didn't do. Exactly. They found out she got money. Well, that's a rumor, Danielle. That hasn't been proven. That's a rumor. It's an allegation. So, but I mean, I want to see the 14-year-old. Feel sorry for him, even if he did it all. People change and become Christian are forgiven. And again, Barbara, I think we have to keep in the back of our minds and remember this, that all the women that are accusing him. Hey, Brooke, good to see you. Ron, I know Facebook went down for a second. It's okay, Deborah. I think it was Facebook. Hey, Tooth, that basically they're not saying that he raped them. They're not saying that he really did anything illegal. The last one that came out said he tried. She claims that he tried to, take her head and make her do something, and so somebody said 40 years is a very long time to keep quiet. So I mean, all of it is just too weird. So I don't really know. Miss Jackson Lee is going after Sessions right now involving black activists. Yeah, this is why I don't try to watch too much of that, Catherine, because that's all they do. I know, Jerry. That's where we know that's where everybody was, and that's fine. I just think it's a witch hunt that they're doing, and after a while of watching him being grilled and the same stuff being asked over and over and the same way they treat him, it just I get no joy out of watching that. So the whole thing is grandstanding, as it usually is, Jerry. Yep. It's a waste of money. Rusted said, when Gloria showed up, it's a scam. I mean, that's what people think automatically. They want their ugly faces on TV, Barbara said. He's a judge, and this never came out before. I know, Alexis. That's what other people are saying. And as we were talking about Moore, let's talk about Demi Moore. Has anybody seen the picture from the photo when Demi Moore was 19 and a young boy who was one of the actors I think she was working with? Did you see her in that photograph? If you haven't, you need to go take a look at it. She was, again, a 19-year-old with a lip lock on a 15-year-old boy. And not just a peck, but I'm talking lip lock. And it's a video, so you can watch the whole thing. Now, she'll get an excuse for that. It'll be like, oh, well, she was 19, she was drunk, she was this, she was that. And I'm not saying she broke any laws, but I'm not saying she didn't. But you should really go and look at that. She used to be married to the guy on NCIS. I've never liked her, Marianne said. Well, I mean, again, we have all of these allegations coming out about Judge Moore. They come out, they're on the news every 5 minutes. And yet we've had George Takei, Richard Dreyfuss, Louis C.K. I mean, there's so many, I can't name them all. I've forgotten how many. Charlie Sheen. Kathmandu, all you got to do is Google it anywhere, you'll find it. It's not hard to find. The Independent is running it today. So just go to the independent.com. You should be able to see it. But just put in Demi Moore, kissing video, whatever, 15-year-old, you'll find it. And it came out before, and nobody said a word about it. But when it's coming out now, well, Barbara, the 15-year-old boy was being kissed. He didn't advance on her. She did it on him. Sula has gone where no straight man has gone before. And see, no one is talking about George Takei ever. Not a peep about, oh my gosh, George, these people came out and said this about you. You must be guilty. Or, George, you need to, whatever. I don't know. And again, people are probably going to say, well, it's because it's not politics and nobody cares about George Takei. Which says something for me. It sends a message. The message is, they don't really care about the children, and that the fact that children may have been molested or sexually abused. What they care about then is their political agenda. You're telling me you don't really care about children, and that's what it's seeming like. Exactly. They're always innocent, but we're guilty on the right. Hey, Chicago Pops. So, I mean, keep that in mind. What they're showing is they don't really care about children. They care about their political agenda. Robin said, is all of this just a distraction? It seems when things come out about the government or Hollywood, something else always comes out as well. Tail wagging the dog. Sulu blamed it on the Russians. I'm surprised he didn't blame it on Captain Kirk. Corey Feldman, here's again another one. Corey Feldman has now blamed and alleged that a third person was a child abuser. Alfie Hoffman, I don't even know who these people are, but this is the third person that he has claimed was a child abuser, and nobody seems to care. It's not getting any news. It's buried somewhere in a side story, and that's it. And nobody cares. Again, if they really cared about children, why would not the left be demanding that cases are opened on these people, that people, when it didn't happen so long ago, are prosecuted, or all of this comes to light? Why wouldn't you do that? I mean, again, if you really care about children, you'll do that. With all the corruption, I need popcorn, Ron said. Corey has been laughed at for 20 years. Yep, Alexis. Buried because they're dims. Corey was laughed at by Barbara Walters. Barbara Walters like, well, you know, you're saying that you could take down a whole industry. And he's like, yeah, I know. And Corey Feldman now is saying there's one person he's afraid to talk about because he's so high up in the industry, he's afraid that he'll be killed. I don't know, Corey, you better say it now because they might kill you before you say it. If you guys could, we're at the halfway mark. If you'll please share this and retweet this, that would be great. Hey, Amanda. Who could it be? I have no idea. No idea. Maybe something we don't know, some high up executive. I know, Deborah. Truth. Corey needs an expose book. Yeah, well, he wanted to shoot a video and wanted money for it. But again, you know, just go out with tell the truth. Do your video later. Hey, Lisa. My dad's friends who visited with their wives for parties were way too friendly. Huh. And how about Clinton cigars? Oh, gosh. There's another allegation coming out. Now this again, this lots of news on Twitter that most people have no idea about. My parents had no idea about the stabbing in Minnesota. Yeah, I know. Thank you, Barbara, for the super hearts. Nobody's really told about these things. Again, you know, they're very selective, as we all know, in what they want to print. They don't want to print anything bad about the Democrats. CNN has come out with a news story. They're saying that 50-plus people have alleged sexual harassment on Capitol Hill. So, as if we didn't know that, because a lot of them are secretly involved, Josette said, because the left doesn't care unless it fits their narrative, Catherine said. Yeah. But let that sink in. Yeah, you can believe it, right. 50-plus people allege that they've been sexually harassed on Capitol Hill. That's, you know, not unusual when you get around power. Sex sells no matter what, Barbara said. Hey, Hassan, how are you? Duh, poor pages too. Yeah. Interns, pages, people that are, you know, with powerless. Yeah, remember the intern? I can't remember her name now. That was killed. The mall, Minnesota video. All, you know, Cully was saying about the mall in Minnesota, the Mall of America. Yeah, Sandra Levy. That's right. Was killed, and it ended up not saying that it wasn't the guy, a senator, but that she, you know, she was having an affair with him. He admitted to it anyway. And what is he doing having an affair with an intern? Well, what does that mean? He looked down her dress or touched her bottom? I have no idea. An intern, Monica Lewinsky. Yes, absolutely. The most famous one. So it's people in power, you know, who exert their authority over others. Chandra Levy was murdered, yes, but not by the man they say were claiming a congressman. I mean, that was a very sad story. Can't share. Deborah, it's okay. Maybe afterwards you'll be able to. Whoops. Knew an intern who got regular inappropriate calls from a senator. Oh. like I said, we have the senator in California that's being accused of inappropriate conduct, and nobody's talking about it. Hasn't even made the news. Morning Joe had a dead intern in his office. There you go, Cully. But that happens, right? Other people have had that, right? Oh wait, no, they haven't. But in California, no one is talking at all about Tony Mendoza. Nothing at all. Nothing about allegations. Nothing about what happened. Or that the De Leon lives. Rents a room from him. It's not even. It's not on local news. I think Patty Hearst is Hillary's sister, PLO employees. I don't know. How about a Sean? I don't know what you mean. She never told anyone except someone in her own town. Yeah, so, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. And now it's saying, too, with Roy Moore, it said 3 of the largest Alabama newspapers said that Roy Moore is grossly unfit for office. So, Mendoza thinks he's giving on. Are you talking about Mendoza in California or Menendez? Yeah, I think you're thinking of, there's 2 different people. Yeah, Menendez, the jury is saying they can't agree on anything. Sorry to say, but all these media feeds these things. Yep, the papers are liberal. I know they're liberal in California. Teenage interns should not go to Washington. Well, teenage interns should be able to go to Washington without being harassed. I didn't see the event in the Philippines. Another person being accused this morning is actor Tom Sizemore. What if 2.15-year-olds are fooling around 47 years ago? 2 15-year-olds? That is underage in any state. Good morning, Rob. Rob's our firefighter. Thank you for doing your job as a firefighter, Rob. Actor Tom Sizemore accused of inappropriately touching an 11-year-old girl on a movie set years ago in 1994 when he was on Born Killers movie set, and they said at the time he was kicked off the set. Robin says she can't stand the media. So that's probably the last you'll hear about Tom Sizemore. Yeah, her parents knew, and they went to the police, and after going to the police, they decided that there wasn't enough evidence kind of to move forward. It wasn't clear in the photograph. I watched a film the other day. It was a little video clip. It was a swearing-in ceremony where Vice President Joe Biden was, and I don't know. I felt uncomfortable for the little girl in the video, who was somebody else's daughter. The way he was kind of pulling her over to him, putting his arm around her. I'm not saying, it was illegal. I'm not saying some people would not find it inappropriate. I found it, I was very uncomfortable watching it. And her parents certainly, they weren't even aware of what was going on. It was Sessions' grand. Biden is creepy, kisses necks, and his hands go all over. I know, Jerry. I don't know they had gone to authority. Didn't know they had gone to authorities. Glad to hear they tried. Yeah, Lisa, they did. They went to the police, and I read that in that. Speaking of inappropriate, Biden. He moved her away from him. Barbara, I mean, basically, she was on the other side of her mother. He took her and brought her over towards him. Thread on Twitter showed many instances of Biden in uncomfortable moments with young girls. It's true, Julia, I'd have to say. Not saying it's illegal. Some people would not find it inappropriate. I found it very uncomfortable. Biden will be 78 in inauguration if he gets past his hands these videos. How long this must have been going on in Hollywood. Pat, I think from the very beginning, we've always known about the casting couch forever. So I have to say that's been going on forever. So, I think these allegations are just going to keep coming out. I'd be surprised if Biden can run now. He has to be squirming Whew, I don't know. Lisa, I honestly, he looks at that, I think, and thinks it's absolutely normal to do that. Yeah, Hugh, I was going to say that. Hugh said he tried to cup her breasts. I was surprised how many examples there were. Sessions swatted him from touching his granddaughter. Oh my gosh, Julia. I didn't see that one. Chessie, what do you disagree about? Thread on Twitter showed many instances of Biden. And then goes, okay, we have sex bots in here today. And repeat bots. He is creepy, Deborah said. Fox News is announcing that 3 basketball players are being returned to the United States. Oh. Spencer said, I saw that. She was protecting herself from her assault, but was smiling because it was a tough spot. He had his hands on both of her breasts. That was supposedly his, I think his niece-in-law, wasn't it, Robin? That, and I couldn't tell if that was photoshopped or not. So I'll wait to tell on that one. Now, I don't know if it was photoshopped. The videos were actual videos that were shot, so I don't know. But I felt extremely uncomfortable. I felt it was very creepy. I don't think Biden thinks anything is wrong with his creepiness. Yeah, Chessie, that's what I'm saying. I think he thinks it's normal. And there's not a problem. Robin says she thinks Biden is a pervert. Looks like Biden was always given a free pass. What is wrong with these families? Lisa, I think it's just a matter of people look at it and go, there's money involved and you don't want to mess with that. And, you know, they keep quiet. My problem exactly how many could be photoshopped. That's why, Pat, I on some of the that looks to me like it could be photoshopped, I'm not going to say anything. But when you have clearly a video, let's say from Fox News, CNN, or something like that, I mean, you have to be skeptical even with them these days. But I feel more comfortable that it's real and hasn't been photoshopped. Nobody with any proper moral coding puts their hands on women in the manner all hands Biden does, Spencer said. Yeah, I just know that I've seen him enough. And when I've been watching on TV live, when he's there with girls, it makes me uncomfortable. You can tell the girl is uncomfortable. Heard plugs Biden likes swimming naked with women around. I haven't heard that, Kelly, but Cully. It's usually weak male family members, Chessie said. Well, you know, child abuse has been around for a long time. Child molestation, child assault. Oh, Secret Service. People either are genuinely concerned about children or they're not. I mean, basically, in all of these things and these accusations, is the left, is it their political agenda or do they care about children? What I'm seeing so far is it's a political agenda and it's not caring about children. That's not okay with me. I think that's just as disgusting because you're making the kids, basically you're making them a victim twice. Yes, Red, the Secret Service said that about him. Oh, Julia. Oh, whoa. I can't even think about Joe Biden naked, much less what he might have been doing. Oh, God. Oh, my gosh. Beach nut in the dude's eye. I know, Fred. I was so gross. Good morning. Yeah, political agenda. Hey, mighty blessed one. They're saying also in the news, there may be I don't know how many people in here live close to this area, maybe a serial killer in Tampa, in Florida. Their 4th person was shot and killed today. And there have been, that 3 were killed in October, a short distance away from each other. And the suspect is supposedly, I don't know how they know this, black male, thin-billed, dressed in black baseball cap. So, another one dead. Yeah, and from what I'm reading, the person just sneaks up behind them and kills them. Never even touch my girlfriends like that in public. It's degrading, Spencer said. Yes, it is, Spencer. As you probably heard, I think I told you earlier, Keurig has apologized to Hannity. Hannity said that Media Matters was responsible for targeting his advertisers. And Media Matters said that, well, you may have gotten Keurig back, but there are 6 more advertisers that dropped Hannity on the same day that Keurig came back. One of those is Volvo. So if you drive a Volvo or know anyone that does, you may want to contact Volvo and let them know how you feel. Do you remember when Richard Ramirez was going around in SoCal? Yeah. I believe they got security footage of him near the attack. Okay. Yes, Spencer did that degrading stuff in private. And she's laughing, Shauna said. Scary times. Yep. A lot of the serial killers are just, they're hard to figure out. Keurig is still unsanitary, Daniel said. Well, Daniel, if you clean it properly, it shouldn't be unsanitary. But I think people don't clean them properly and let them go. So let's see. Some other news. Sheldon Adelson, who is a Las Vegas billionaire, has broken ties with Steve Bannon. They're not in agreement. Yeah, HebrewNationalRealtor.com, Nature's Bounty, all pulled Hannity ads. I live near there. Local news is covering it very well. Good, Pat, that's great. Sheldon Adelson wants Mitch McConnell and supports Mitch McConnell, and Bannon doesn't. So they had a little rift, and now they're done. Hugh said if you drive a Volvo, throw it out the window. That might be difficult, Hugh, but okay. Okay, so you got to plug in. The House GOP passed legislation to reduce the pension and federal benefits provided to former presidents. As you recall, former President Barack Obama is making a lot of money, and he's still getting a pension. So they want to reduce that. Okay, Rob, have a great day. Thanks for coming in. And basically, it doesn't look like it's reducing too much. They want to immediately kind of reduce the pension by $4,000. Big deal. They want to cap the budget for the former president's office at $500,000 per year. Seems a little bit too much for me. With a reduction to $350,000 in 6 years and $250K after 10 years. That seems like way too much money to me. If I had a Volvo, I'd smash it with a golf club, Spencer said. Only thing good that came out of Sweden was ABBA. What is Sessions doing on the stand again? Not understanding. This is just the regular meetings that they have. What's the president's salary now? Isn't it like $400,000 a year or something like that? I'm going to say I think Trump knew something might come up with more. Hence that he didn't give the support, Shauna said. It is too much money out of our pockets. Yes. Yeah, the President Trump is taking $1, but the rest of them got around, I think, $400,000 a year. But nobody remembers that. They don't remember that we're saving a lot of money by having President Trump as our president, as far as salary goes. That's for sure. Thought it was 900, 200. I can't see that. 900,000. I don't think so. No, that's way too much. Rita's AM that Disney is still interested in buying part of Fox. Did not say if Fox News was part of it. Wow. That will be bad. Catherine said, and his admin. Yeah, if they buy Fox, you can forget about it. It went from $200K to $400K with George W. Bush. Yeah, $200K, in my opinion, is enough. But I think that's what Congress is making, and plus everything else. Ron is back. He's back. So according to documents obtained by USA Today, people who have a history of self-mutilation, bipolar disorder, depression, and drug addiction or drug alcohol abuse are now able to obtain a waiver to join the Army. How do you feel about that? Does that make you nervous at all? Foundations, uranium, even emails were mentioned in the letter yesterday for special investigation. Yes, so anybody that according to what they're saying, is they need recruits. And so they're going to get recruits with mental illnesses that they weren't normally able to do before. Yeah. Not really pretty nerve-wracking. Yes. Congress makes too much money sitting on their butts doing nothing for the people. That's right, Robin. I agree with that. Roger Goodall from the NFL wants $50 million a year in a private jet. I know. Must be nice, Cully. They will never make it out of basic training. No, Barbara, but I guess we'll pay for them to go there and try, right? Crazy people with guns, LOL. Yeah. See, I thought we were working against trying to allow people in the military that had certain diagnosis of, PTSD or whatever. We don't want them to have guns, but then it's okay for people who are self-mutilators, bipolar disorder, depression, drug and alcohol. It's okay for them to have guns. So it said the new policy to open Army recruiting to those with mental illness conditions was enacted in August, but it was never announced. The Army had issued the ban on waivers in 2009 amid an epidemic of suicides among the troops. Hey, Jennifer. The decision to overturn that ban comes as the service attempts to recruit 80,000 new soldiers through September 2018. To meet last year's goal of 69,000, the Army officials lowered their standards, accepting recruits who did poorly on aptitude tests. They also increased the number of waivers granted for marijuana use and offered hundreds of millions of dollars in bonuses. What's wrong with this picture? That makes me extremely uncomfortable. Too few want to join because they now know that the VA is set up to deny service-connected injuries. Ungrateful government, Spencer said. Then it would be the drill sergeant's fault when they kill themselves. You got it. Are we that desperate, Chessie? According to the Army, we are. We will spend tons of their money on their meds and care. No, we won't, Barbara. We'll just pretend that they're fine after they get out. The camera people in the sessions hearing are ignorant pieces of work. What's going on there, Shauna? So I'm feeling a little bit more hopeful, not a lot, that we're going to have a special counsel pretty soon. The Attorney General has directed senior federal prosecutors to evaluate certain issues raised in the letters coming from the Congress asking him to do something and appoint a special counsel. And 10-minute break time with Sessions hearing. Well, glad you could join us, Nancy. Get DACA to do 4 years service and eligible for citizenship. There you go, Jerry. Break time, they move in on him and the table, of course. What are repeat bots? They come in and they repeat everything that you said. That you say, hey, Robert, you must be here from the break. Are we that? Oh, yeah. Like that person who just repeats. That's a repeat bot. Thanks for the flowers, Robert. And they had to ask Sessions this morning, well, wait a minute. I thought you weren't involved in Russia, so why are you aren't you going to recuse yourself with anything involving Hillary Clinton? Yeah, we're at the part where the Dems start getting mad. No, you're at the part where the Dems start showing how mad they are. They never stop being mad. Well, do they help plumbers? Oh, pull my screen up. Yeah. This will cost us even more troops. Yep, it'll cost a lot more. But nobody seems to care. I guess we're going to go through with it. I don't know, who's in charge of telling the Army that they can't do that. Seems like to me there should be someone, but it probably maybe, coming from the top. I don't know. I think it's a scary thing that the Army's allowed to do that. But as I believe Jerry said, maybe bring those people in from DACA and say 4 years service, and then you can become a citizen or whatever the case may be. That's it. Who is in charge? I know, Pat. That's who is in charge. The inside wars against America. Shauna said the Dems need for Sessions to recuse himself from everything, really. The inside war is against America, yeah. I know, they want Sessions to be out of everything. And, let's let Mueller do everything with all the conflicts, so. And I know you heard yesterday with all that about Roy Moore and them saying, well, let's just bring Sessions and let Sessions go back to the Senate. Did you ask him first? Did you, by any chance? Sessions said, no, I'm not returning to the Senate. Why would anybody who is the U.S. Attorney General, a total step up from a senator, want to return to being a senator? Sessions is sly like a fox, gentle as a dove, Barbara said. Sessions wouldn't answer questions about the whole Hillary or uranium one. Good for him. He shouldn't be answering questions. And another thing they were trying to do, too, they're like, okay, to Sessions, do you think a president should do X, Y, and Z? What about when a president says X, Y, and Z? My simple answer would have been, I'm not the president. I don't know. Nope, he's getting ready to strike. Hopefully, Barbara. But if you're the attorney general, you're not going to answer for the president about what the president should say or what he should do. Sessions has let the door open for a special counsel, though. Left the door open. Shauna said, yep, their diversions were clear as glass. Yeah. Wait till Kamala gets a hold of it. Kamala just hates everybody, so this will just be one more way for her to springboard into trying to be the president. Some will use it to turn their life around. Too few, unfortunately. It's Trump, the top lawman. Yeah. So the United States issued nearly 30,000 visas to people from nations officially designated as sponsors of terrorism over the last decade through the Diversity Visa Lottery Program, the White House announced on Monday. So 30,000 people from nations designated as sponsors of terrorism are in our country right now. Hey, Jules. Good to see you. Since 2007, the U.S. has admitted 20,739 individuals from Iran. Kamala Harris is scared. She should be. 7,232 from Sudan and 812 from Syria through the Visa Lottery Program. Iran, Sudan, and Syria are currently the only countries designated by the State Department as state sponsors of terrorism. Yeah, she is a scary person. I missed the show. My loss. Well, Jules, you can go back and watch. That's a good thing. You came in late. We had a whole discussion on more, so you might want to go back and watch it. We've gone on to other subjects. And you might know that Visa lottery program was originated in 1990 by Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, then a member of the House. Schumer's measure to make a set number of visas available to diversity immigrants from certain countries was absorbed into a larger House immigration bill, which was sponsored by Schumer and 31 others, including several Republicans. So you know whose fault it is. You know who to look at and who to blame for this. Has everybody been listening to anything in regards to the Penn State fraternity house about the pledge that died? Anybody covering that at all? Diversity visas do not ensure the world's best and brightest come in, right? Get rid of it. Absolutely. Hello, Jules. How about doing the Pledge of Allegiance in the morning? Well, Pat, that would be great. I could do that, but I think a lot of people prefer the Bible reading, but we could ask. Yeah, basically a recovered surveillance video from a Penn State fraternity house where a pledge died after a hazing ritual revealed that 19-year-old had been given at least 18 drinks within 90 minutes, leading prosecutors to file new hazing and manslaughter charges. They filed now 12 additional men in the case, have charges filed against them. This brings the total to 17. Yes. Well, I mean, I think that when you have a bunch of people who are absolutely out of control, the school, in order to protect itself, has to step up and say, no more. Yep, heard that this morning. And that's pretty, I mean, can you imagine that? 18 drinks in 90 minutes? Penn State's been in trouble for a lot of things. Yeah, we could do both, Pat. The one boy deleted the middle video. Oh. And the FBI found it. Wow. people don't think alcohol poisoning can kill them. And they're absolutely wrong about that, Jerry, as you know. And I know that's what you're saying. Robin says she prefers the Bible reading. That's a lot. Hazing is illegal. Yeah, Air Force One is okay, great. The president's back in Hawaii. Yay. You know, when I thought he was going to be gone, like for what was it? How many days? 11, 13 days, whatever. A long time. I thought, wow, that's going to be a long, long time. And it's going to seem like a long, long time. And really, it didn't seem that long at all. He did so much work during that time. So much progress was made. I know, it was very quick, Robert. And I'm so glad he's back. So anyway, all right, you guys got to go. Got another show, God's Views on Political News, in an hour. So thank you for coming here today. Thank you for your support. Thank you for retweeting and sharing this, and I'll see you again tomorrow. God bless you. Take care. Have a great day. And wine with dinner is good, Barbara said. All right, thank you, everybody. All right, see you tomorrow. Thanks for sharing. So many things are coming out. I can't even stop the Periscope. There we go. Try again. All right, there you go. All right, everybody on YouTube, thanks so much. We'll see you again tomorrow.